Hey everybody, welcome to April. We have 5 games for Prime Gaming, and we're just gonna get started with it this month. So again, there's no real theme for this month to kind of talk about, so we'll just get started with Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. This title grabbed me instantly, so this was the first game I had to try out, and it just seemed unique enough to be one of the first ones that came out in 2021. Metacritic score is 72, $15, and about 2 hours for this retro game. I know recently in the past couple years we've been seeing a lot of these retro style games come out that are a new take and new graphics, and this is no exception. And this is more of a Zelda clone. Turnip is in debt, has a lot of taxes to pay, and is kind of helping the tax collector collect items. The biggest thing I was drawn into was the soundtrack. Some of the dungeons you would enter, they had different soundtracks, and it was amazing to play through them, and I felt they really enhanced the level. There was like a treehouse one that I really enjoyed. Overall, the graphics were good. I enjoyed this. I liked the feel of the game. Very cartoony. It was kind of funny and humorous with some of the interactions. It was on the easier side. There was only one boss that kind of gave me some trouble, and the only reason it did was because I was trying to rush through it real quick. But if I would have took my time, I would have had no problem at all. So, side enemies are also really easy. The powers are cool that you get. Eventually you unlock portals, and I like the concept with the portals. Overall, the game is short. Again, I said it came in 2 hours. It took me about an hour and a half to basically 100% the game. And I say basically because there is a endless mode where you hop on a train and fight cart to cart until you beat all the bad guys. Overall, I would say this is a download. I really enjoyed this game. It was on the easy side, but the pro here was it was kind of unique. It just took Zelda, made a familiar concept, had its own little story twist, and I enjoyed it. The con here is it is short and on the easier side. Next up, we have Guild of Ascension, which came out also in 2021, and there was not much information here on Metacritic or the overall timeline. It is $15, and it's a very indie game, which I did like the concept here of the, I'll call it dungeon crawler, but it's more of a tower crawler. Basically, you move up each level of the floor, and difficulty keeps going up, and the game is designed that you're going to lose the first couple times until you build up your characters enough to get powers and enough XP to finally get through the whole game. Combat here is a weird twist of turn-based, but you have a timer on each character, and you can do as many attacks as you can inside that time frame. So I had a melee and a bow person. The melee guy, I could try to get like almost 10 hits in before the next opponent's turn would take place. So that was unique, and I did really enjoy this. The bosses were fun. The ads were kind of similar. I didn't feel no change there. But this whole concept of this fighting part of the game, I really did enjoy. Everything else felt pretty rushed, though. The menu is very simple. There were sound issues. The interface of, like, the town was just an image. The map was weird. I don't know how else to describe it. So it felt like they built this core game and kind of added everything else a little later. So right now, I would go with a not. The pro here, it is a good intro to their style of this turn-based, which I did enjoy. The con here, and this is where I felt I was more on, was it didn't feel fleshed out. I'm interested to figure out the next game they make, because I hope they do fix a lot of that, because I think they do have a lot of promise, but right now this game is a little clunky at the time. Next up, we have Monkey Island 2. These Monkey Island games have been coming out more and more, and we know my stance on these, so we'll get into this one as well, which is one of the highest rated Monkey Island games. It came out in 2010 for the special edition. 87 on Metacritic, point and click, $10, 7 hours of gameplay you're looking at. And this is your standard point and click game with the good puzzles. I do enjoy the puzzles of these. when they're not the old school style, which I'll get into. The game humor is fun. I enjoy watching clips of Monkey Island. I think the game does have silly parts to it. The special edition, as always, is cool because you can see what the original game looks like, and it is a dramatic difference in this one. I was shocked how much changed, and it was just interesting to see the old, and it switched the sound too. So you got the old graphics with the old sound, and then everything updated. Also, which was unique, you had a commentary. It would pop up every now and then, and you could listen to commentary from some people on the team telling about some stories about it, and I found that cool. If you played this game already, that is a big draw. That being said, as always, this is not my nostalgia. I was not a big fan of the point-and-click games, and this plays from that time. Some of the puzzles are that whole, you just have to explore until you figure it out. A lot of backtracking and stuff like that, and figuring out, are you supposed to push, pull certain things? Just not my style. And it suffers from the old gameplay because it is a remastered, update graphics all, but the game is still played the same as it originally was. So, as always, I'm going to say a not to this for me personally. The pro here is, if you played the original, this graphics update is huge. I would recommend playing that if you were into that. And then the con here, it is an older game, and if you just weren't in these styles of games, you're probably going to be in my boat and just not have a big draw to this. Next up on games that came out in 2021 on this list, we have Nanotale, which is $20 normally, and Metacritic it got a 68, and you're looking at 5 hours gameplay for this typing game. I couldn't find the video, but it was Epistory was the first game I reviewed from this same company, and they made Nanotale as well. So if you've seen that, a lot of similarities will be here, but the story is completely different. You play as a young archivist. I think I said that correctly. And you kind of help out with this evil presence that is taking over the world. What's unique about this is it's a typing chronicle, so everything is typing. To navigate the menus, you have to type. To fight bosses, you have to type. To go through dialogue, you have to type. So it's heavily on the typing and reinforcing typing. Very good graphics. I think the game looks amazing. The con here is a little simple story. And I still, for being a typing game, these are some of the best ones I've ever played. I know a lot of them old ones are pretty rough, so it's still unique. And I had fun playing this typing game. I wouldn't say the game is like super amazing, but for a typing game, I enjoyed it, so download. The pro here is this company makes the best typing games for this genre. If there's anyone that recommends or was looking for a learning how to type game, I'm probably going to point them to this company. The con here is if you just hate typing, you're just going to hate this game, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Lastly, we have Galaxy of Pen and Paper. Came out in 2017. You're looking about $15. This was for the +1 edition on Steam, so I couldn't find the original. 11 hours of gameplay with 65 on Metacritic. And this is a virtual D&D style game is the best I can describe. So it's an RPG. You have two characters and a dungeon master sitting at a table, and then it just switched to scene. So there's not much animation when you're in the ship for this game because everything's in space here. You have a little animation, but in general, you're just going scene to scene and you fight a boss or interact with text. So that's where the virtual like board game style comes in. You're not rolling a dice, even though the ship has a lot more of the dice power. That's what's actually fuels the ship is this thing called dice you can change. Overall, the retro graphics are cool. I enjoyed it. Not much interaction in the battles. It's turn-based. And what was weird is, I don't know how to describe it. A lot of this is up to you. I guess the dungeon master role, you can pick like what missions to kind of go on, visit different places. And also you can adjust the difficulty on the fly. So a lot of the missions, it would be like defeat 3 of these guys. But you can fight them one at a time, all 3 at once. And obviously that increases difficulty. And you get more rewards if you fight more bad guys. So that was interesting. It does get hard when you try to do all of what the mission does, because that's what I tried, and I actually started dying early on in the game. Leveling up is kind of automated for you. They spend your points for you. Overall, I was stuck. I don't know if this is a download or not. And I kind of just looked at this as, would I pick this up in 2 months? And I would say not just for that. And this is a hard choice. I think you can go either way for this one. The pro here is, it's a nice twist for like a virtual D&D game. If you do like those things, I think this would be geared more towards you. The con here, like, you're kind of just fighting the story. I wasn't necessarily grabbed to. And the retro interface was a little weird to get used to at first. So these were like nitpicky things that I was trying to find that would draw me in or take me away. So that's it for the month. The first game I reviewed, Turnip Boy, would be the one I would recommend everyone try. That was fun. It's short. You can play it in one night. So I would recommend that one for this month, and just to try out. Why not? Anyways, I'll see y'all next month. Peace.